How's everybody doing tonight? All right, we got Dan Cummins in the building, everybody. Round of applause for Dan. It's gonna be a good night. My name is Andy. Be your first comedian for the night. Get right into me. I'm actually a veteran. U.S. Marine Corps, did 2 tours in Iraq, was in the infantry, yeah. People always ask me about the details, and I gotta tell them, about how I, lost some friends in action and used my weapon, and it was pretty jarring stuff, and I took the lives of some, enemy insurgents, and it's always really uncomfortable telling people all of that because none of it is true. Just a big lie that I'm scratching and clawing to keep alive. Like, I had to go to the Army Navy store and buy a full military dress uniform, which cost me $200. Seems like a waste of money, but I'm gonna save 20% off at Golden Corral for the rest of my life. I'll tell you what you see a lot of at the Army Navy store is men with ponytails. And I'm not a political comic, but I'll tell you this. Don't trust the voting advice of a man with a ponytail. Like they're either far-right Confederate flag waving white nationalists with a fertilizer bomb in their garden shed, or they're like bedwetting utopian socialists with a nightstand full of herbal supplements. But I saw a guy with a ponytail there once. He had a ponytail, tie-dye shirt, handlebar mustache, and NASCAR hat. And I didn't know what to make of him. He was like a redneck hippie. Looked like the kind of guy who beats his kids with a dream catcher. Like they say don't judge a book by its cover, but you totally can with men with ponytails. Like you see a guy with a waist-length braided ponytail and camouflage cargo shorts, that guy knows everything there is to know about catching rattlesnakes. You can judge books by their cover, man. Like you see a woman walking the streets with a denim dress, safe to say she homeschooled all 11 of her children. Good crowd. Let's get into me, everybody. I don't want to be one of those triumphant comics who says something just to get an applause break, but I recently put on 60 pounds. Thank you very much. Didn't happen overnight, though, everybody. People are jealous of how fat I've gotten. Like I inherited my fat without working for it. It was a series of bad decisions, all right? Taking the stairs when I could have taken an escalator. All right, no, the other way around. All right. I knew I was getting fat again. This is my 3rd go-around as a fat man. I knew I was getting fat again when my mom told me that I looked strong. That's what any good mom does for her fat son. Says, honey, you look strong. I knew I was getting fat again when waiters started calling me Big Dog. And then commenting on my orders to the kitchen staff. Yo, this guy's not fucking around. Things are looking up though, man. I'm happy to announce that thanks to the keto diet, I've recently unfriended over 50 people on Facebook. Here's a fun fact about me, a true one, everybody. I'm actually a recovering heroin addict. Thank you. That one doesn't get as much applause as the veteran stuff, but that one is actually true. And people are taken aback when they hear it, which is understandable. I don't really look the part. This whole thing ain't really screaming heroin addict. I look more like Bobby Hill. And all my friends are comedians now, and they always bust my balls about my past. One thing I get a lot is, dude, I'll bet when you were a junkie, you used to like suck dicks to get heroin, huh? No? That's not actually a thing that happens in drug addict world, everybody. I'm sorry to make it less romantic for you, but here's a free dare lesson. Most drug dealers didn't get into the business to get a beach from this fella. It's not happening. There's no drug dealers hanging out like, yo, so Dave, how was slinging dope today, man? It's like, oh my God, it was amazing. I didn't make any money, but I totally got a blowjob from some dude who looks like a bully from a 1990s Disney movie. I had a friend tell me once, dude, it's not like you're trying to blow the dealers. You would just blow, like, whoever to get the money. Equally not plausible. I'm just gonna emerge from the shadows and find some random pedestrian. Be like, hey there, pal. Let me preface what I'm about to say with this is a real shot in the dark. But if you're feeling lonesome and you got an extra buck or two, wondering if I could give you a head to get some heroin. Even though I'm a great big fat guy, I actually got me a girlfriend. Yeah. Thank you very much. She and I have very different backgrounds. I'm from Utah. I came up Mormon. Didn't last because heroin got in the way. Yeah, heroin addiction and Mormonism, those two things are kind of at odds with each other. And my girl is a bisexual atheist socialist from West Hollywood. And she's a lot more advanced than I am sexually. I'm not going to go into too much detail, y'all seem like nice people, but she's been really advocating for anal sex, which, you know, might be like holding hands for those LA degenerates, but it's a bit over the top for a simple kid like me. I'm from God's country. And she sent me a link trying to persuade me called The Top 10 Reasons to Try Anal Sex. And number 3 was to make new friends. Which just seems like a really aggressive way to make new friends. Maybe I'm an old-fashioned country bumpkin, but I don't think butt fucking ought to be in the introductory phase of any relationship. It's a good thing though, man. I don't miss being single whatsoever. Don't miss dating. I did the online dating thing here. I wasn't on Tinder like every other basic dipshit. I was on Match.com, goddammit, looking for the one. My Match.com bio said, that's my kid in the photos, but don't worry, he's not a big part of my life. Before I got my lady, had a date with a girl out in LA. Tried to be old-fashioned with it and pay for dinner. But she saw a condom in my wallet. And she's like, well, what do you got there? I'm like, this is a condom that I got. Because I'm a grown-up. And she's like, well, this is our first date. What do you think is going to happen? And I'm like, hey, relax. It's not for you. That joke's about safe sex, everybody, so y'all should take it easy. Don't judge. And I'm not going to preach to you, but if you're out there in the wild, you know, be safe and get yourself tested and be prepared for bad news, by God. It's crazy. I got some myself not long ago. Yeah. Well, back when I was still single. The doctor comes out, he's like, well, Andy, you have chlamydia. Again. Just contact everyone you've recently slept with and let them know. So I just sent out a group text saying, I have chlamydia. What if you gave it to me? And now the rest of you have it. Fight amongst yourselves. That's That's diplomacy, everybody. That's diplomacy. I've been out in LA for a couple of years, and I'll be honest with you, I've always thought of myself as a more progressive person, you know what I mean? But LA definitely taught me the extent of my liberalism out there. I got accused of manspreading. Y'all ever heard of that one yet? You been keeping up on top of Jezebel and Salon and what have you? I was on the train and this woman said to me, "Sir, you're manspreading." I was like, "Huh?" And she's like, "You're taking up too much space." And I was like, "Lady, the reason I'm taking up so much space is because I'm a person of size, and right now, you're body shaming me." We just had ourselves a little battle of the wokest right there on the train. Finally figured out a way to be marginalized if you're a straight white man. Just get as fat as possible. I beat the system, everybody. I did it. So empowering. It feels amazing. About time for me to get out of here. Y'all have been fun, you know? Before I get out of here, let's lighten it up, though. Let's talk more about heroin. How does that sound? Yeah. You know, my pops found a little bit of my jokes in my car. We were driving down the road, and I had a set list of mine written in the glove box. And he confronted me about it. He's like, "Well, you got a bunch of your talent skits here, and I see a bunch of perverted stuff about people's private parts. Your mother and I are pretty mortified. What you gonna do about this?" So I just dusted off an old excuse from my junkie days. I'm like, "Dad, those aren't even my jokes. I'm just holding them for a friend." Now, my dad's still very, very Mormon. You know, I came up here, my dad's still Mormon. So I try not to, shit on the Mormons too much. You know? I don't know. I remember some of the lessons I got when I was a kid. Remember one lesson I got, the teacher's like, "Andy, I'll tell you how you know it's not natural to be gay, all right? The animals don't do it. Go to Yellowstone. You don't see Mel Bison getting it on with each other." I'm like, "That's a good point, teacher. I think moving forward, I'll base my sex life exclusively on the bison." So I see a woman I'm into. First thing I do is I find another guy who's into her. And then I headbutt him in the chest as hard as I can. And just to let her know I'm serious, I'll go ahead and piss in the dirt and roll around in it. Then I'll mosey on up to her and kick her kid in the head. Blow snot all over her back and say, "All right, I guess it's time to get mounted." The only drawback, though, about being a person in recovery is everybody wants to vent to me about their hardships. Like I'm the guy to talk to about that stuff, and I'm not that guy at all. Like my neighbor was talking to me. He's like, "Andy, you used to have problems with substance abuse, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah?" He's like, "That's okay, we all have problems. You want to know something about me? I hate my wife. And my job and my kids. I just feel trapped. I don't know what to do." I'm like, "All right, you ever thought about trying heroin? You do that in about 6 months, that job, wife, and kids won't be bothering you anymore at all." Yeah, everybody, thank you very much. I'm Andy Cole.